Welcome, everybody. This is GetSportsFocus. I'm your host. And there's my co-host.
What's that?
That's right. Never meant to cause you any pain, Coach. It's about the championship, people. It's about the championship.
Get Sports Focus is brought to you by Summit Partners, leaders in growth equity investing. Weightsandbars.com. Build your home gym and shop locally from the Bay Area's best fitness equipment experts. Ike's Love and Sandwiches. Championship level sandwiches every single time. South Bay Construction, a reputation built on trust. And by Fuel Good, fueling your success. Conveniently located in Santa Clara off Homestead Road. For more info, go to fuelgoodmealprep.com.
Hang on, just so everyone remembers, right? Let me know when you get one of these.
Yes, we are listening to Purple Rain by the great late Prince. And Coach Andrew is showing off his Bay Area Panthers championship plaque. They don't give out rings in the IFL, they give plaques.
No, we get rings. We just haven't got them yet. Because, you know, it's just 10 times bigger than the ones that you got.
I got 5, though. I got 5. I got 5 on it, Coach.
My one is probably bigger than your 5.
Anyways, as you all know, we've seen quite a lot of these purple umbrellas with the droplets on Twitter, or formerly Twitter, now X. Championship week, Coach.
Championship
Games
week.
are looking mighty royally right now. I don't know. I'm torn, Coach. I'm torn. Let's get this prediction segment going. This is week 9.
Week
and,
9?
Huh?
Week 9. Wow.
It's week 9. We're flying, Coach.
We're flying.
So we might have a special guest later on, but we're gonna kick things off with the picks.
Let's do it. Let's do
We're
it.
gonna start with the Bellarmine Bells, who are now battle tested to the max, taking on the Mitty Monarchs, who I call them Monarchs. Mitty Monarchs. I'm sorry, Mitty Monarchs. Hey, your guys played extremely well against Riordan. I watched the game almost twice, and I was pretty impressed with number 4 from Riordan. He is a baller. And if you were to take him out, that would have been a Mitty game for sure. But yeah, Riordan. They're tough at home, man.
Yeah. They look good. Like, they showed it. Like, they look good. They look really good.
Yeah. I told you, number 12, man. He's a key player in that defense. Number 9, is it Allard, right? Caden?
Mm-hmm.
He had some big plays. But and he had a pick 6. So That was great. Oh, number 8 had a pick 6. You know, I can't tell. I gotta get my roster right.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
this week we got Mitty and Bellarmine. Mitty is hosting Bellarmine at home for their only home game.
yeah, the one we get where you have to notify the entire neighborhood that we're doing it.
Yeah, it's gonna be worth it though.
It always is. Like this is always a fun game. It's at home. The one time a year we get to play at Mitty. Everyone comes to this game. It's a great game. A lot of alumni come to this one. I may go to it. Maybe not.
Wow.
I might. It depends. Is it Friday?
It's Friday.
Then I cannot.
Okay.
I have a game.
Date night for Coach Andrew.
No, it's game night for me.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, but I'll kick off the picks. I'm gonna go with Mitty on this one.
Of course.
Well, I mean, you're gonna go you brought up the word battle tested. Mitty is now for sure battle tested. Very, very much so battle tested. For them, it's just cleaning up. Honestly, it's just cleaning up small mistakes. It really is. Like, I think the moment they clean that up and they recognize it and then they play a complete game, which seems to be like what I say to every team that I pick, play a complete game. Because when I watch it, you can tell, like, okay, you guys are making some mistakes there. Play a complete game, play to the whistle, play to the end. Mitty takes this 35-28.
Nice. Okay. I don't think so.
I obviously. I mean, I love the Bell kids, dude.
Because
I know.
Parker 3, you know what he's about to do in this game.
Run for his life.
There's only 2 professions Parker can be in the future. He will either be an NFL football player or a surgeon. Put on the white coat, Parker, and let's operate this Friday. You know where to throw to. 35-34, Bellarmine Bells.
Okay. So it's gonna come down to the wire for this one.
It's gonna come down to the wire.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna need to block that punt. I mean that PAT.
Yeah, I honestly I think from what we've seen so far, this matchup is pretty even. Like, this is a pretty even matchup. Both teams have gone through like their tests of what they needed to go to get to up to this point. I mean, week 9. This is going to dictate a lot. This is going to dictate pretty much like what happens the rest of the season.
Oh yeah.
And what happens in the postseason. So
time's running out. Gotta win a game.
I feel like for both teams, this is must win. This is a must win for both sides. So
especially for Bellarmine.
Yeah, so this is a must win game. So yeah, so I think there's a lot more at stake on this game than people really know. So I think this is gonna come down to it. I think Mitty will put it together. I'm putting a lot of faith in my Monarchs. But I'm not gonna discount those guys over on the other side. I can't.
I do have to say, I don't think Mitty really knows how good they are. I mean, after what I saw, first of all, I knew that they were gonna put up a head of a fight against Riordan, and did I expect them to win? Yes, but that was kind of a stretch, honestly. But I mean, look at what they did.
Right.
They did. They were up. They got up. They almost pulled it off. Couple of mistakes, and it was number 4. It was our game changer. Lawson he's a game changer. He was the difference. So that's that. Bellarmine over Mitty. There you go.
Cool. Mitty over Bellarmine. Awesome.
And just in time, folks, we got what's up, Ethan?
Hey,
our San Mateo expert.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
You missed my intro. You're gonna have to wait until the segment comes.
This is a good one too. It was a good
I was,
intro,
I,
Ethan.
I was singing Purple Rain,
Not that
Purple
part.
Rain.
Not that part. Not that
Not
part.
that part. I was about to, but welcome to Predictions Karaoke. We got Ethan Castle and Coach Andrew joining us. No, we're not going to sing, Ethan. Don't worry. Unless you want to.
And I'll leave that to the experts.
So you got the list of games, and you also have a couple of games that you want to add on, which is great. We're always very appreciative of your expertise. But we did talk about Mitty, Bellarmine, and what do you think? Bellarmine at Mitty.
It's Mitty's annual home on-campus night game. They're going to come out fired up. I don't think there's any concern of a letdown from last week. I really like what they've done with their offense. Having been at the game against Riordan, they ended up going much more of a run-heavy attack. Jonah Cronin spent a lot of the time at QB. AJ Senezel went off. He had 100 yards after his first 4 carries, and I don't know how you stop him. I just really like him, and I thought their run blocking was way better than it had been in prior games. Like, my concern for Mitty against Riordan was that they were just going to get crushed by a much bigger line, and that didn't happen at all. Mitty really hung with them the entire way, so I like the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, so you're picking Mitty.
Yeah, I think it's hard not to, the way with what they showed, and they didn't come out of that game with a lot of injuries or anything. I like how they're playing.
Nice. I did too, but I'm all about Parker 3 and the Bellarmine Bells this weekend. I already gave
it's also a huge game because, top 6 WCAL make playoffs. That's a game you got to probably win to get into the top 6.
That is true. All right, so we're gonna move on to our next game. Thank you, Ethan, for talking about the Mitty Bellarmine matchup, the upcoming matchup. We got the big one in San Francisco, Bruce-Mahoney Game.
Can't wait to be there.
Cathedral versus St. Ignatius. Both of these teams have improved tremendously from week 1 to now, and I really like what I saw again. Last Friday against St. Francis. I know St. Francis won, but Sacred Heart Cathedral, man, they dropped everything, and they were ready to go right from the beginning. And so I think it's just a matter of spending a little bit more time getting that chemistry going. They have a lot of new players up from, I guess, the JV or freshmen or whatever, and a couple of guys got cleared too. So they look good. I'm picking Sacred Heart Cathedral in a close game.
I've got to go with SI, but I think SHC is going to keep it close.
Yeah.
The
24-21 would be my score.
You said 24-21?
24-21.
I like SI in close games. SI, their 4 wins, 3 by 1 point, 1 by 7. They haven't done that in any of the games I've been to. It's like they got something against me. But I think ultimately what decides this game is that SHC, as much as I like a couple of their new pieces, and I'm excited to see Michael Sargent at QB, the fact is they've really struggled to stop the run. I think Jarius Hogan is going to have another huge game. Did you see what he did against Valley Christian?
Yeah. He was
catch at the back of the end zone was insane.
They man, I was going for Valley in that game. I didn't think it was going to be that close of a game down to the wire, but special teams, man. Got to play.
I thought it was going to be close. I'm really impressed with the SI defense, especially. I think they found, since that Riordan game, I think their defense has really started to get it together.
Nice. Coach Andrew, what do you think?
No, I've said it like every time we cover SI, from the games that we've watched, like SI has always kept it close, and it just was going to take some time for them to put it together. They're always good. Like, I can never doubt that. Like, SI has always been like just really, they're always in it. And I mean, good. Like, Sacred Heart did do well against St. Francis, but I don't think with like how SI has SI, like those 2 players that you talked about, like they've been consistently good this season. So I think they're just going to do better. So I'm going with SI, but I'm going 28-21. That sounds more realistic for me.
Okay. Well, there you go. 2 SIs and a Sacred Heart pick. Valley Christian at St. Francis. Ooh. No,
I just
know.
want to say this used to be a game that was a really tough watch because it would be just such a slugfest, such a grind. There were some years where it was like 7-3 or 10-10 after regulation. That game's gotten a lot more exciting the last few years. I'm going to go with St. Francis just because they're at home, but I think it's going to be tight.
it's their homecoming also. And if you guys saw Aaron Knapp seeing Katy Perry, you gotta go through Instagram. You gotta see it.
I got to see that. But I don't know the last time St. Francis lost to Valley at home. I know Valley's had the better of them down at Valley a bunch of times. But at home, St. Francis has had their number for a while.
If Valley is gonna win this game, they're gonna have to come out like firing, like quick. Because if Aaron ends up getting in the groove and start throwing, he's gonna test that defense, those cornerbacks from and they all know each other, which is funny, which I think is gonna be pretty cool to see. They all play 7-on-7 together, so
that's going to be cool.
it's gonna be kind of like a reunion. But I'm gonna give the edge to St. Francis, especially if they get going like early. But let's see, my score is 42-21. St. Francis. Kingston, give me 4, baby. Come on. I need 4 touchdowns from Kingston.
If I had to go with the score, I'd say, I don't know, 31-21 or something. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring.
What do you think, Coach Andrew?
I went 35-14. Like, I think if, you get Kingston going, he gets rolling, like, it's going to open up their pass a lot, and that's the thing. Like, but even that, like, St. Francis, like, if Kingston's rolling and the running game is going, they'll stick with it. Like, and it's hard to stop it, especially with how hard Kingston runs. But you can't count out like Valley's run game either. Like, this is like we might get the slugfest that you're talking about, Ethan, like of past. But I don't know if Valley will be able to last that long. Like, like a boxing match. I don't think they'll go the distance physically just because of that.
It's all up to the line.
Yeah.
But I could tell you now, Kingston is running angrier these days. He's on a mission. Right now, he's leading the league in touchdowns. He's got 13. I think that's for running backs. I'm not sure if it's overall, but he's number 1 in one of those categories. And I could see him getting 4 more in this game. And EK too. I think EK could do some major damage. And if they're gonna win, he's gonna have to have a really, really good game. Yeah. But that line, they gotta do their job. So it's gonna be a battle. I'm getting excited about the next one. Ethan, you weren't here in the beginning of the season, but we made a prediction of the top 3 finishers in the WCAL. And this was my list.
Okay, that's
I shouldn't
part of that's aged well. Part of that's aged well.
Yeah.
Hey, Bellamrine's got 3 games to go. They could still move up.
I mean, Bellamrine has one of the best individual players. I'm not going to doubt that.
Bellamrine?
Yeah, Parker's one of the best individual players in the league.
Yeah.
Nobody's doubting it.
He is outstanding. So, for the WCAL title, on Saturday, we got the Serra Padres hosting Purple Rain. Purple Rain. I don't want to go first.
I'll start it off.
There you go.
Yeah.
Riordan's coming into this game really banged up. We saw it against Mitty, especially at the linebacker position. They are really thin. I don't know what the status is there of a couple of guys that missed this past game, but they were definitely feeling those absences. Skylar Tia and Grant Lockley, both of whom had been big contributors in a couple of their earlier wins. Like Tia was all over that win against SI. Lockley was huge against Valley Christian. And I don't know if they're going to be able to compensate for those guys if they're still out. I think the way Riordan could win this game is basically just Chris Lawson puts the team on his back, which is always possible. He kind of did that this past week. Had 2 receiving touchdowns, a punt return touchdown, interception, and forced a fumble with a peanut punch. But I think ultimately, even though Lawson's probably the best individual player on the field, I think if you were to take like the top 15 to 20 players in this game, yes, Riordan might have the top 2 or 3, but then Serra's got a whole host of them. And I think that's where this game's going to be decided. I can't pick against Serra. I can't see anyone beating them in Northern California.
Interesting. Okay. I like it. I like it. Did you say the top 2 players? Riordan's got the top 2 players?
Yeah, Lawson and then you could go with Tyrone Jackson. You could go with a whole bunch of dudes there.
They do have a lot of
Sinai Thomas left last week injured, but you could throw him in that list. Wesley Wynn, the freshman. I love Riordan's freshman defensive end, David Leigh Jr. He is a monster. He's so physically mature. Like, that body type, like you know how Jurion Dickey as a freshman was built like an adult already? Same deal here, just a defensive end rather than a receiver.
Yeah.
But I think Serra's depth is going to be the difference here.
What's the score?
I don't know. If Riordan's defense doesn't, if Riordan's defense plays like they did in the second half, because they only gave up 7 second half, they gave up 28 plus a pick 6 in the first half. I think it's gonna be something like, I hate to give teams bulletin board material, but let's go 36-7.
36-7.
We're going 36 instead of 35 because Serra likes to do the swinging gate play, go for 2. I think their pass rush is going to make it a really, really tough day for Riordan's offense. I think Mike Mitchell is a great QB, but I think that pass rush is going to give him a lot of trouble. But again, if you get the ball to Chris Lawson, he can do some impressive stuff. I think he's just phenomenal. You've seen him play. You know what he's all about.
Oh, yeah. He reminds me of not really a Jurion Dickey, but more like I'm blanking out, from Pittsburgh a couple of years ago.
Rashid Williams?
Yes, that kind of a player. Yeah.
I see a little Troy Franklin.
He's an all-around kind of guy.
I see a little Troy Franklin, maybe not quite as
Franklin, yeah.
Maybe doesn't have quite like the same wingspan as Franklin, but the footwork, the ability to make plays on both ends.
Junior.
Yeah, next year's really going to be his year, but this Serra senior class, you can't pick against them.
Coach Andrew is going to pick against them.
I learned my lesson on that one. I've learned my lesson on that one. No, it's true. Like Riordan does have I'll agree. Like, watching those, like the video, like this is probably like the most like I've seen anything of like Chris Lawson. Like he's like, what do they call it? Like he's a generational player. He's going to show up and be like that. But it's depth. I honestly like Serra beats everyone on their depth. It's ridiculous. Like when they get so high up in the game, they get so far away, and then they throw in like their reserves. The reserves are playing just as strong as the starters. It's kind of crazy. So I think they'll get up 35 and then they'll start rotating in. If Riordan can put it together, I maybe give them a touchdown. If that.
Oh.
Good. Two guys that I think are gonna go off for Serra this week. Marley Alapati, because he's just been a big time playmaker, and I think Jaden Green really likes rising to the challenge in big one-on-one matchups because he's going to be going out there. He'll be lined up against someone like Lawson or Tyrone Jackson, and I think he really loves that spotlight.
So you think they'll keep him in longer?
I just think when he's in there, that's where I think he's really going to rise to the occasion and make big plays. And that's the sort of matchup where you would think, that's where teams have a shot against Serra. I don't think people realize that Jaden Green is a big time player like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jaden Green, man. I'm a Jaden Green fan. He was on our 7-on-7 team. He had 3 touchdowns against Bellarmine. But I'm a little worried about this game. You already know I'm a Serra Padre fan, and I've been to a lot of their games, and I feel some doubts. I could feel it.
Really?
Again, if
Parker Parker gave Riordan a blueprint as far as how to beat that defense, because they could have had like 4 touchdowns against Serra, and this was in the first half. Because Serra got caught off guard, or Serra just got burned, or got mossed, whatever. I don't know, man. I think this is going to be either a 38-35 win for Riordan, or it's going to be a shutout by Serra.
If Riordan wins, it's going to have to be high scoring.
Riordan,
yeah,
they cannot make mistakes. You have to play perfect against Serra.
I think because this Riordan team, as talented as they are, they're still young. I think that's what's going to end up getting them.
But if there's an opportunity for a team to beat Serra, it's this Saturday. I think they can pull it off. I'm calling an upset.
Ooh.
I'm calling an upset.
Okay.
I said it. I will never be welcome to Serra again.
I also wouldn't.
There goes the free food.
Serra just comes out, quiets that right away, gets off to a roaring start, and it's like a 3-score game before you can even blink, because they've done that to a lot of teams.
They have. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this is. I picked Serra for the last since 2019. I think Riordan can pull this one off. I don't have a purple shirt, but otherwise I would put it on. Oh, wait, I do have a purple shirt.
Oh, dear.
Does that look purple to you? There you go.
It's like an eggplant.
This is what I wear for work. Eggplant black.
Or plum.
So if Riordan does win, that's going to be interesting. Because that means they win the WCAL.
Well, they'd still have to. To win it outright, they'd still have to get through St. Francis, and then they finish SHC, who is going to come out fired up for them.
Yeah.
I think that Riordan St. Francis game a week ahead, without going too far off track here, that's going to be spicy no matter what happens this week.
Oh yeah, definitely, because that will force the 3-way tie. If St. Francis does beat, let's say Riordan beat Serra, and then St. Francis beat Riordan, we got a 3-way tie.
That and Wilcox Los Gatos is the other huge one next week. That's going to be nice.
That's going to be a big one too. All right, there it is. We're on record, fellas. Real quick, so let's fly through this. Sobrato, Willow, Glen.
Sobrato.
I haven't seen either of those teams in person this year, but Noah Taylor's that dude, so I'm going to go with Sobrato. That said, every game Willow Glen plays is tight, so this should be a close one.
Yeah. I Sobrato, Noah's single-handedly creating those wins, and he put the team on his back. They vibe off of him. If he's having a bad game, you can see their team they respond the same way. So as long as Noah stays fired up, he's fine. I think he'll carry this.
Greg.
This is gonna be a big game for Mr. Cedeno Chavez to show off his all-star capabilities. I think Willow Glen's gonna win this one. 35-24. Live Oak. Santa Teresa.
Christopher made a statement rolling past Santa Teresa last.
Yeah.
Can't pick Acorns right now. Christopher and Live Oak are going to roll into the final week of the season undefeated, head-to-head for the league title. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I personally know that. I saw a little bit of the game of the Santa Teresa Christopher game. Santa Teresa has the players. They had some moments to like take it, like, and actually like stay in the game like they did last year. They just couldn't capitalize on it. You know, they just couldn't. So, and Live Oak has a really strong running attack. They couldn't stop the run against Christopher. So I'm going with Live Oak on this one. But yeah, the Live Oak Christopher game is going to be a fun one to watch in a couple weeks.
Yes.
I think that one's going to really, really like, that's kind of going to determine who's going to go to the Open, who's going to go to 2.
Yep. Overfelt, Oak Grove at Leland. That's going to be an interesting one. I think Oak Grove is I mean, they're gelling right now. I'm going to go with Oak Grove in this. 42-17. It's going to be a big win for Oak Grove.
If Leland gets healthy, I like them, but I don't know what the status is there.
Yeah.
Because when they were missing Chase Swenson, they were missing a couple other key pieces. That's a huge game because, you know, top 4 in Mount Hamilton go to playoffs. So I guess I'll go Oak Grove too.
OG, baby.
Yeah, OG. Going OG on this one.
Overfelt at Leigh. Ooh, Overfelt is they're in full force now. I don't know. They might have trouble over there at Leigh stopping this team. They had 400 yards of offense against Westmont.
Overfelt's got some dudes, obviously. I mean, John Stowers is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
But Leigh's been really good in tight games. So I'm going to go with Leigh and Cheyenne Shariad, who I think is one of the most underrated players in the whole Bay Area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking Leigh on this one. Keep it close, but it's going to be close. It's
a one-score game.
Yeah. Like I kept it that close, 28-21. Keep it that close.
So, Ethan, you have a couple of games that you wanted to throw in there. This would be your picks.
All right, for sure. Let me grab that right here. All right, we got one in the NCS. I was looking at San Ramon Valley at Cal. I think SRV, even though they'll be banged up from last week against De La Salle, I think they'll bounce back nicely. I can't pick against the Wolves. I think it's going to be, we're going to get that SRV De La Salle Open Division rematch. They got to win their remaining games to get there, but can't go against that.
I would like to see a San Ramon Valley, Riordan, San Ramon Valley, game, Riordan game. I think those two teams are pretty.
That would be a fun matchup.
Yeah.
Just going off mutual results because they both played SI and SRV won by more. It'd be hard to go against SRV. Also, just SRV is very senior heavy, and this Riordan team is young still.
Very young, yeah. They have a really good future. What else, Ethan? What else you got?
If you want to look down at the PCAL, Soquel and Palma. I saw Palma against Aptos this past week. Logan Saldate is a monster right now. Like, when he was a sophomore, I knew he was good. I didn't know if he was, like, Big Ten Notre Dame level good. He showed this past week he definitely is.
Yeah, he is.
But Soquel's been good. Soquel's defense has been awesome. You know who's coaching them, right?
Who?
Dwight Lowry, former NFL defensive back, former Spartan.
Dwight Lowry.
No way. I did not know that.
I remember the name. Yeah, the name sounds familiar. No, that's awesome.
I'm going to go with Palma in a close one, though.
Palma? Who do you think is going to win that league?
Salinas.
Well, Palma can't anymore. Soquel is, right? Did you say Soquel? Ethan?
Sorry?
Did you say Soquel will?
I said Salinas. They're the only ones who are undefeated in that league. They're going to win the whole league.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Damn.
Yeah, because Palma has to win out everything because of that little snafu that they had.
Well, no, they only have one league loss, and that was to Monterey. So in theory, Yeah, I guess Palma would probably have to win out unless Salinas was to lose to somebody else, which I don't see happening. Salinas will handle Alvarez, then they get Palma, and then they finish with Hollister.
Well,
It's Salinas.
is going to be a good game.
Let's see what else we got. Milpitas and San Mateo. Milpitas was giving Aragon a game at half. San Mateo took cap to OT. That's gonna be tight, I think.
Wait, when is Cappuccino playing? Oh man, Aragon. Is that this weekend too?
Week from Thursday, I'll be there.
Okay, yeah, I think that's gonna be one of our big games.
That's game of the week material. That's for the league title.
Exactly.
I think I don't like picking against the San Mateo defense. I feel like Milpitas has better experience in tight games. This is basically a coin toss. I think I'm gonna go with Milpitas though. I think they got just a little bit more big playability.
Nice. All right. Well, so after we do the picks, we normally move into the last segment, which is what is on your mind. What's on your mind, Ethan? This is an open discussion about anything that you want to discuss.
I'm just fired up for Bruce-Mahoney week. Other than that, just try to have some time. Watch D-backs and Phillies tonight. See if Nola can keep up his playoff form.
Nice.
Oh, one more game real quick I want to give some love to.
Okay.
Up in the city section, Balboa and Lincoln this Saturday.
Oh.
It's been the championship matchup the last 3 times, I think.
Is this for the league title?
Should end up being, even though they're still, their regular season goes a week longer because their playoffs are shorter. But I like Lincoln to win this one. Jamel Newman's going to be your city player of the year. But when they play again come playoff time, Balboa might get him. Balboa's got some studs, especially Michael Zapata, defensive end.
I gotta start watching more.
Coach Andrew.
Maybe
Ethan can help us out with some of these things.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say we need to start watching more games up in the north. I gotta start watching some of those. So what's that?
You guys got San Jose on lock, but I can help fill you guys in on what's going on up north.
Okay. Yeah. Heck yeah. I don't know. What do you want to start with, Alf?
I don't know. There's so many things.
Yeah. So what's that?
I thought you had something.
So I thought I did, but I know that. Okay. So this happened. Okay. So this is the second time this has kind of come up, and I've been seeing it a lot in a lot of games. And I guess it also happened, we see it in the pros. It's what is the definitive rule on cutting on the line? There's so many different variations of what people are seeing. And when is it considered a dirty play? From what I know from the rules is that once you do the cut motion, you have to be flat or roll. You can't be up anymore at all, but you have to be down on the ground. That's what I know from the rules. That's also what we teach our kids. You have to be flat. But I think just the motion of it, everyone still considers it dirty. What do you think, Ethan?
I think, it's one of those things you probably got to be on the ground for. I'm going to just kind of defer to you on this. You seem much more versed in it than I do. I do know that there have been a couple of cut blocks that have taken guys out this year. John Mendoza over at SRV. He wasn't even anywhere near the play when he got cut, and you don't want to see something like that. Sorry?
Is he injured?
Yeah, he's done for the year.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. See, that's why I'm not a big fan of it. It's just there are better ways to do it.
See it. I feel there's it goes back to the whole tackling issue that a lot of people are having. When is it considered targeting? When is it you're hitting head first? It's all based on how are you coaching your athletes on how to hit, even how to cut block. There's a video, right, that we saw some cut blocks. It came from the D line, and the D line went down and they did a pile up strategy where like they have to go down to the floor because
Talking
what it
about the
does is
Riordan game.
yeah, it stops the O line. The O line had to stop, but the way the O line from Riordan counteracted that was they had to step back and step down, which is how you're supposed to do it. Like if you see them coming at you, you sprawl, get out of the way. And then in some of the other games, like you see the kids that like they cut block and then they roll. We had to do the same thing with Panthers. Like when we cut block, you have to roll. It's a rule. You have to roll or just stay down on the floor. And then with tackling, it's the same thing. You know, there were some questionable hits. You know, if you lead with the shoulder, you can really see nowadays, like if you're leading with the shoulder or not. And it's also like where you're hitting them. So I think that the hitting and just like technical movements is going to continue to be an argument. Like what you said, Ethan, like it takes kids out, like really good players. It takes them out of the year. And then all of a sudden we don't get to see them play anymore. So I think that's just like an ongoing question. We keep getting comments on that. So, I mean, that's one of the things that's on my mind. I can't remember what else was on my mind.
Not a big fan of it. So are we good? Did we predict everything? Anybody want to do a last second statement regarding the games this week? You know what? Forget it. I think Sarah's gonna win. I'm taking this off. 49-0.
Yeah. This is going to set up a lot. I don't know if you agree, Ethan. Like this weekend is going to set up a lot. Like the playoff picture will be set up like well.
Especially figure out like who's going D2, who's going D3, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think so too.
Don't leave a game early. Anyone who left before Luke Baker worked his magic last week missed a crazy finish.
Who left early?
Like half the student section left early.
Wow. I think Baker's so okay. We'll close with this. Who's your top 5 quarterbacks, Ethan? I know you've seen the best of the best in NorCal, pretty much. But who's your top 5?
Luke Baker's number 1. I haven't seen Macedo over at Cal, so can't really speak on him. Yeah, Baker, Malawaki Smith, the way he's been playing lately. Aaron Knapp's been great. Mike Mitchell. Ooh, that 5th one's tough. I really like Xander Eshelman. I know he got hurt this past week. Hopefully he's all right. Going to be over at their game Thursday. I'd throw him in that mix for sure. I'm trying to think of who else.
I like
honestly
Baker.
Those QBs, McGrath and Freehead.
Oh yeah. I like I say Smith is my number 1 QB. I think he's the best one.
I think
I would put Baker. I would put Baker as number 2. I like Marley Alapata, not Marley Alapata. Marley Alcantara from Pittsburgh. Okay.
Haven't got to see him this year.
Michael Mitchell, number 4, and number 5, I'll take Toa for a quarterback that can run and move.
He runs the bootleg really well.
Yeah.
Also, that's kid. He does not need football to go far in life. What a smart dude.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna be like a lawyer or something.
Yeah. Toa, Mike Mitchell, both could definitely be lawyers if they wanted to.
Yeah. Those are my 5 QBs. But what about you, Coach Andrew?
I don't know names. I just know who they play for. So, I mean, it's like
who's your number 1 play? Who's your top 3 players? This is like everybody.
My top 3 players?
Yeah, right now.
Oh,
at this
man.
point of the season. We can end with this.
Top 3 players. I'll go players. Cole Harrison. I'll put him up there.
Yeah, I think he's the best tight end.
Yeah, he's having a monster year. I mean, I saw him in practice last year. I was like, who is this guy? He's your backup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, credit to Seamus that he was playing in front of him, but man.
Yeah, I would go Cole up there, and then I would say the running back from De La Salle, the one that we just featured.
Derek Blanche?
Yeah, and then I would, man. I still like Jabari Man, just overall. So, yeah.
I think Jabari Man, Danny Niu should be Well, it all depends on what happens in the next couple of games, especially this Saturday. But those two are my top two and Smith. So top three players.
Ari a slight edge just because he does a little bit more on offense, but they both had monster years.
Yeah. Last 4 years, actually. So
I said a couple years ago that like senior year, Jabari's your player of the year. Danny's making that argument interesting though.
yeah.
So is Jay.
It's almost like they work hand in hand. That's why I think it's either one or it's got to be both. You can't really pick one or the other. I think they deserve it too because they've carried the defense this whole entire year, and I think we're going to see that Saturday. So quote me on that. 49-0. Serra is going to shut out Riordan after I flip like 3 times. You have to be watching the entire segment to actually figure out my pick. All right. Oh, you got muted. You got muted, Ethan.
Give both teams bulletin board material. Play both sides.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
I think it's going to be a really, really good game. But historically, though, Sarah's done really, really well against really, really good opponents. And just going back like a couple years, like they played against Rico Flores. He didn't do much. Jurion Dickey, he didn't do much except for the second half of his junior year. But by that time, the game was over. Logan Soldate couldn't do anything. Folsom earlier this year, they couldn't do anything. De La Salle, they got shut out. So this is one of those games where they're going to be super focused. And as much as I really, really like Chris Lawson, I'm not sure if he'll be able to get that ball. Because Michael Mitchell's going to need to get him the ball. And Sarah's D-line and linebackers are going to be waiting right there. They're going to be throw it. And I think Mitty, oh my God, Mitty gave the blueprint on how to kind of defend a lot of those quick slants and passes. So, and yeah, this is the number 1 defense in NorCal. You're not gonna score on this. So, Ethan, man, I appreciate your time. I got some stuff for you when I see you.
Appreciate it, man.
And Coach Andrew, I got some stuff for you too. I'm almost done moving. These are the only 2 left. Well, there's a bunch of other stuff, but moving sucks.
Oh, I know.
It does.
Boxes. It's like when I've moved, it's like that first day. I just want to unpack everything. I don't want to see another box.
Yeah. Well, I've been moving for the past, like month and a half now, because I can only do it in little, like I don't have that much time. So, yeah, but hopefully in about a week or 2, I can invite y'all for a nice barbecue or something. We can do this in person. But yeah. So where are you gonna be tomorrow or Thursday? You're gonna be coming up Thursday, Friday?
Thursday, Menlo Atherton, Mountain View, Bruce-Mahoney Friday, Riordan Serra Saturday.
There you go. That's a great lineup. I might see you at at Mountain View. That should be a good one. So
both teams need that lead win to get in the playoffs.
Yeah. Coach Andrew, always good seeing you.
Hopefully, you guys got to make it down to Santa Cruz one day. Watch some Santa Cruz.
Oh, we'll see.
Maybe.
You guys have any issues with anything and everything that we said? You can comment down below, and we'll talk about it. But just to reiterate, I'm not a big fan of fast food. I like Ike sandwich and Feel Good. I gotta hook you up with some Feel Good, Ethan. You're gonna love that thing.
Gotta give it a try.
Definitely. All right, fellas. Appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you on the sidelines.